Now, the key issue is that in the past, we had the opportunity to buy the minds of consumers. In other words, if we spent sufficient money and there were enough icons of that, like Procter and Gamble, Unilever, the large banks, that spent enough money that we could not ignore their messages, it was much, much easier to break through into an awareness threshold where people saw and noticed your marketing. Um, Unfortunately, it's no longer as simple as that because many companies are constrained in how much money they can spend on marketing. It is not as though it's a free for all. Marketing is a fragile entity where the moment the economy shrinks, people do spend less money on marketing. So the breakthrough of marketing comes from creativity. In other words, how do I encapsulate the selling idea, the, the, the creative idea that sells the brand in the best possible way that will people make notice that will make people notice that concept. That is the single biggest issue we need to focus on, and the most important one, and one I'd love to speak with you about because I've got very deep experience about that principle, having been involved in of the most creative and impactful marketing in my own life. Um, Now we found through Gartner recently a survey that's equally disturbing, and that is to say that their notion is through research, not guessing, that 97% of all social media have the same problem. In other words, that a very tiny percentage of social media marketing actually results in sales. In other words, the vast majority that we spend on social media, that at this point runs into the equation of 50% of many countries, which is half of all marketing spend, does not work as well as it can. It also includes within that major brands like Amazon, which slightly confuses it because I think if you then look at the average brand, the figure may in fact be worse. So even less impact will be created by a tiny brand or a challenger brand or a brand entering a new category. Um, I think the important thing of that is if you look at the stagnant imagery of most social media, it has to have a lesser impact than a mobile image or an image that attracts attention. Stable images simply do not attract the same attention. Images with too many words do not attract attention. Images with the same crops do not attract attention. Many of them have no call to action. In other words, I may look at it, but I'm really not going to be interested in buying. Many of them do not make explicit the, the, the trust pilot and other ratings of consumers of how well these brands performed. Um, if you do amazing and dynamic creative, these days you can do this through technology. You don't even have to hire an agency or anybody else to do it. You can do it. But currently it's rare, again leading to the 97% of impact that is low. Um, and then if you look at retargeting itself, my big problem with retargeting is that I get retargeted even once I bought the brand. They're still trying to sell me exactly the same brand time and time again. Now that is all solvable with current technology. It'll be infinitely easier to solve it with AI. So I think the issue of testing and learning is the last thing I want to leave you with here. We have sufficient capability today, very cheaply available, in which we can test channels and messages to see which ones work better for us, and then utilize the ones that work better for us. I did the same in marketing. With some of my clients years ago, I would achieve high awareness and I would then see how a reduced budget could help us still by exposing a very good ad less. The very same principle will apply to social media. In other words, when you've tested and you've learned and you found that a particular message and a particular channel works well for you, focus on that message, focus on that channel, and you may find that even if you reduce the budget, your impact will be the same. If there's anything I can do to help you, please feel free to call me. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and my contact particulars, both my telephone number as well as my email address, is at the bottom of this. And really, I appreciate you listening, and all of the best.